What can you do if you were in the middle of buying your next home and COVID-19 just reared its ugly head and essentially made it impossible for you to perform, and now you're getting pressure from the other party saying, we need you to perform, we're going to close this deal in a week, we need you to move forward. What can you do? Is there maybe a form that can protect you in case, God forbid, something like this happens? Well, there is, and it's a brand new form, and that's what this video is all about today and more. Ooh, man, it's been an interesting month for everybody. Now, unless you've been living under a rock or in some other planet, some other plane of existence, you know undoubtedly what's been happening in the past month ever since COVID-19 broke out. Something that nobody could have saw coming. It's affected virtually everybody, everybody's lives, everyone's jobs, everyone's careers have been affected, and my career is no different. We've seen it's been affected tremendously. One of the things that real estate's been doing recently is implementing new documents to help those people who are buyers, sellers in the middle of their transactions or thinking about making a move to kind of protect them in the event that they've been affected by COVID-19. And there's been some documents that have been introduced, and the one that we're going to talk about today is probably the one that's all-encompassing, the coronavirus addendum. And like I said at the beginning, this is going to apply to those people who are in the middle of their deal and something happened, COVID-19, that made it impossible for them to move forward. And just to let those people know, because I know there's people out there who think about buying, they're thinking about selling, and because of lack of information, they just put everything on hold and they don't do anything. So this document that we're going to go over exactly what it is to let people know, to hopefully give them a sense of security that there is something in place that realtors can put into effect for you to protect you. Okay, so let's essentially jump into it. The main thing this document basically says is that if the parties, the seller and the buyer, happen to be in a situation, unfortunately, because of COVID-19, something happens where the deal cannot go any further. The buyer has been affected and now they can't move forward. This document essentially gives the buyer an additional 30 days to perform. So you get an extra 30 days to still make it happen. Now the contract already, how it is, it's giving the buyer an automatic 30 days to perform. The realtors can essentially make it more restrictive, or they can make it more generous. The contract says 30 days, but you can make it 15 days if you want to be a little bit more restrictive, or if you want to be more generous, you can put in, we don't need 30 days, we need 40 days, we need 45, we need 55 days, whatever the parties agree to. And if you do choose to implement this document and get an additional 30 days or an additional 40, 45 days, you still have to show proof that you've been affected by COVID-19. You can't just say you've been affected just because you need an extra couple of days and you said, well, we can always just kind of say that we've been affected by COVID-19 even though it's not really true. You're going to have to show proof. And there's a good amount of ways to show proof. One of the ways you can show proof is you get a letter from your employer. You get a letter saying, hey, you've been recently let go. You can also maybe get a letter from the lender or from the bank saying, hey, we're not doing loans anymore. Or get a letter from the lender again saying that because you've been let go, you don't qualify for a loan anymore. Those kind of things. So with this document, you get an additional 30, whatever amount of days, but it also gives you, the buyer, the opportunity to back out and say, look, I want to move forward. I clearly want to buy the home, but I can't. So this document protects you so you can back out of the deal, number one, and number two, you get your deposit back. If you've seen some of my past videos, you know that buyers essentially have 3 safety nets during escrow. You got your home inspection period, your appraisal period, and your loan period. Once you sign off on all those 3 things, you're pretty much essentially 100% committed to buying the home. So this document also protects you from that. Even if you've already released all 3 of your contingencies, this document says, look, even though he released those 3 contingencies, you can still back out if you show proof that you've been affected by COVID-19 and you get your deposit back. Another good question some people might be asking, and even some realtors, when's the right time to submit this form? The easy answer is anytime. The best time is probably when you submit your offer. So along with your offer, submit the coronavirus addendum as well, just to keep it in place in the event that something does happen in the future. This is like an additional safety net. So in the beginning, it's good. It's probably the best time, but you can also submit it in a counteroffer. You can add it later if for whatever reason maybe you forgot about it or your realtor forgot about it and you guys want to put it in later, you can add it in later. Can you use the coronavirus forms when you're thinking about leasing, getting a home, renting it out? Absolutely you can. In the event of that you want to rent out a home, when's the best time you put it in? Anytime. The best time in the beginning. So absolutely, if you're buying a home, renting a home, this document could be put into play at any time. Best time in the beginning. And then, last but not least, is this form mandatory? The short answer is no. It's not mandatory. Currently there's no state law that says you have to have this document in play if you're going to be buying a home, renting a home. There isn't. If the brokerage of your realtor makes it mandatory, then it's mandatory. But it's as of right now, it's not. Also, a little factoid as well. Even without this form, if something happens to you that's COVID-19 related and you can't move forward with the deal, you most likely still have a legitimate reason to back out. You know, if you can show proof like, look, I got fired. What do you want me to do? I can't buy this home. You'll be fine. Even if for whatever reason, God forbid, the other party is kind of crazy and they want to take you to small claims court because they want your deposit, the judge is most likely going to side with the buyer and say, look, what do you want to do? He got sick, or someone he knows got sick, or something happened within the deal that was coronavirus related, and now they can't buy the home. The judge is most likely going to say you can't take their deposit. The deposit is still theirs, and they can back out if they wish. You know, I sincerely hope everyone's staying safe with this thing. The one thing that I do know is that California's been crushing it. Like, we've been doing pretty good with keeping the numbers. From what I've read, that we've been doing really good keeping the numbers down. The amount of people that have been sick. We've been doing really good with the stay-at-home order. And now our governor has said you have to have the mask. It's like a mandatory thing. It's not optional. So I know California is doing great, and we should keep it up. And luckily, we have some people in our industry that care enough to put something like this into effect. And now it's up to you, the buyer or the seller, to make sure that you hire a realtor who knows about these things and stays on top of them. We're all making adjustments with this thing that's happened, and it's completely unforeseen. No one could have seen something like this happen. So because of that, if someone's directly affected by it, you have a form that helps you and hopefully gives you at least some level of peace of mind to still move forward with your dreams of buying your first home. Maybe selling your home and buying another one, upgrading, or whatever you're doing. There's a form that protects you out there, so don't feel like there's no safety net for you. There absolutely is. And make sure you're always working with a realtor with the heart of a teacher, not the heart of a business person. So yeah, stay safe, everybody. It's a trying time, but we're almost at the end of April, and hopefully by May, fingers crossed, by June and July, we should have a pretty good idea of when we should return back to normalcy. So everyone stay safe. I'll see you guys in the future on the next video, and see you guys later.